Hello, and welcome to Throw with Bo. Except today, I'm not throwing anything. Not yet, anyways. You'll see what I mean in a bit. But today, I'm going to be hand building with some slabs, because instead of throwing on the wheel, I threw my back out.
So come to my lab.
So I must make
and
do
see
with
what's on
what
the
I've got.
slab.
And that's not a lot. Starting off with some slabs with my little rolling pin. I have a tiny rolling pin, and he's so cute and super fun. Anyways, starting with a slab. Starting with a slab and a fish template I made out of paper. Also a needle tool. I'm cutting out the designs with the needle tool, which honestly I might need more of because I have to misplace them. I really hope they ran away and aren't hiding in the reclaim bucket. Yeah, yikes. Scary. But anyways, for this video, I'll be making 3 different types of fish with 3 different designs, but they're all gonna have the same shape, so that's why we're starting off with the same shape. I decided to make a template so that they're all consistently the same size, or at least somewhat the same size. There's a little bit of variation because of their handmade nature, because all of my ceramics are handmade. So they're all gonna have slight variations, and some of those variations are due to whatever design I decide to freestyle in the moment. I often feel it out with my heart, feel it out with my soul, you know? I like to kind of figure out what textures I'd like to make for the day as I go. I don't like to premeditate them or think of them ahead of time because I don't want to have to follow a certain guideline besides the general shape and look of the fish. And wouldn't it be kind of boring to have a bunch of the same fish dishes? I mean, I don't know. It would be boring for me to make them all the same. And then it'd be like, well, why hand build them if they're all gonna look the exact same? I don't know. So I like to make them all a little bit different because there's plenty of fish in the sea, and it's no different when it comes to these. Whoa, I think I got a little excited there. I started dancing. I'm not really sure what song I was listening to at that moment, but oftentimes when I'm really getting in the groove of things, especially if I'm doing ceramics and listening to a really good playlist, preferably jazz, I kind of tend to go a little bit crazy with dancing a bit, and I just start to feel the music. I start to feel the vibes. Even when throwing, actually, I start to dance a little bit, which is kind of funny because when you're throwing, you kind of have to stay balanced and stay very still, I guess. Not super still. You don't have to stay frozen, but I kind of move around a bit, which sometimes it can make my bowls wonky, but sometimes I'll like dance a little bit and then I'll, pull the walls of the bowl or cup or whatever, and then I'll dance a little bit and then pull the walls of the bowls. Yeah, because I don't know, it's fun to dance and just to feel like I'm in the moment. I think that's why I probably dance, is because I feel grounded when I dance. My ancestors would be proud of me, I hope. I don't really know. I never really asked. But anyways, I like to dance because it helps me feel like me. Yeah. I really, really like fish. I think fish are very interesting, cool looking creatures. I especially love salmon. Salmon has a very nice taste to it, but I also like salmon themselves. They look really cool, really funky, and I don't know, it's something about fish. They're just simple creatures. They go with the current, and I think they represent transformation, right? Transformation, change in life. And I feel like I really resonated with that a lot in my life. You know, I never really stay stagnant in things. There's always something happening, even if it's a time of reflection or thinking about stuff. There's a lot happening at any given time. So I kind of just am always moving, always transforming, always trying to find something better, trying to do something better, trying to create. And that's what I'm doing here. And I also, attach the eyeballs with slipping and scoring them. So what you do is you score them. So you make like a texture with the needle tool on both sides of the clay that you would like to join. And when you do that, then you place some water on it. If both items are softer clay, so like not quite leather hard, a little bit softer than that, you can join them with water. But if they're both leather hard, then you have to use slip, or even if one piece is leather hard, you have to use slip, meaning that you have to use like kind of like a slurry of water and clay to act as the glue to put everything together. So yeah, and then I am using my handy dandy square, not needle tool, what's it called? Handy dandy square trimming tool. My handy dandy square trimming tool, which I love this tool a lot because it can make a lot of cool fish textures. And I actually made a few videos on how to do different fish textures, you know, how to do different textures, fish textures in clay. Because I think it's really fun when you get to kind of experiment with that. I got kind of bored of the same old plain, like, smooth clay look, which it's not for everyone. I think some people do it very well, but I wanted to kind of broaden my horizons, I guess, you know, jump in the pond and see what I can find. Because I wanted to make things look, I don't know, more visually interesting, more texturally interesting, especially as somebody who finds texture very fun. Like in sweaters or in the carpet. I was one of those kids that would actually play in the grass a lot. So I would kind of, you know, mess with the grass. And I'm sorry, Mother Earth, but I would pull out some of the blades of grass just because it was a nice texture and it was really fun. I would also collect a lot of rocks as a kid, and I still do that. I actually am always walking around with rocks in my pockets just because, one, they're grounding because, I mean, they are from the ground, and two, they're just fun to mess with if you're feeling, maybe if you're feeling a little bit nervous or if you just want to take your mind off of something. So yeah, that's why I usually carry around a lot of rocks. It's actually kind of funny because you can just hear them clanking whenever I'm walking, so that's a little bit funny. But yeah, so now we're moving on to the next fishes. Next fish? Fishy? Fish eye? Fish with eyes? Fishy eyes? Eye fishes? Fish eye? Gosh, I can't think today. It's okay. It's fine. I often find that whenever I'm doing ceramics, my mind kind of just clears completely because I'm so focused on what I'm doing that I don't really have time to overthink things. I will still be thinking, so my brain isn't completely clear or completely empty, but I find it easier to focus on something I find it easier to focus on a thought or a problem I have and try to work through that while I'm doing something with my hands, because then it's like some of my focus is elsewhere versus everything is in my thoughts. Everything is focused on my thoughts. So yeah, with this scale texture, I wanted it to look like actual scales where it's overlapping a little bit. It might be a little bit hard to see, but I hope it's not too hard to see. I also like to do these little carvings by the eyes. They, to me, represent kind of like water. So not like tears, but yeah, they're water markings because they're fish. So it kind of drives the point across. My little brother actually told me that a lot of my pottery looks like it's from Arizona, which is where I'm from. He was saying like, yeah, it looks like it's from Arizona because of the markings in it. And I thought that was really cool because I'm kind of, you know, able to bridge the divide between land and sea, especially because here in Arizona, we don't have water. Please help. Please send us water. Oh my gosh, it never rains here. Occasionally in monsoon season, but that's like, we've gotten it less and less over the years. If you're from Arizona, you'll understand what I'm saying. You'll understand that because it never rains here, and we only get like a week of rain every year. And it's been happening less and less throughout the years. I think that's because of climate change. But anyways, it's kind of sad, which I think is why I am so drawn to water. And I used to be afraid of the ocean. I used to be scared of the ocean because the ocean to me was a big body of water, right? That holds a lot of unknown animals, and I always have a fear of like drowning in it or getting eaten by something. But I think as I've been exposed to the ocean more, as I've, you know, seen more pictures of creatures from the ocean, I've become a little bit more comfortable with it, because I think that the more you get exposed to certain things, the more calm you might feel about it. Kind of like exposure therapy, but with the ocean. Because I see like, yeah, there's nothing to fear. If anything, it's the crazy people. Maybe there's people in the ocean. I don't know. I'm not trying to go on some conspiracy theory. So, I hope you enjoyed this video, and hopefully you can create something today, whether that's a smile on someone's face or creating your own destiny. I say go for it. If it makes you happy, And if it doesn't hurt anyone, then I say why not? Anyways, have a lovely day. Go create something. Yeah. See you later. Bye. Goodbye. See you later. Bye-bye. See you later. Goodbye. See you later. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye. Adios. Have a lovely day. See you later. Goodbye. Adios. Bye. See you later. See you later. Bye.